Hey campers, just a quick trigger warning here. This episode contains discussion of a follicular unit extraction medical procedure, also known as a hair transplant, including details about my surgery and a brief animated simulation of the process. If you're not into it, just fast forward to like 21 minutes. It's still a great episode. Love you. Let's get into it. Have you ever canoed down a babbling brook?
No, but I have cried at a Taco Bell.
Oh, same thing. Listen up, campers.
It's time to buckle up, pitch a tent, and take a hike.
Because Camp Counselors is a variety show.
So prepare for a good old-fashioned kumbaya,
Weird news,
hot gossip,
and scary stories around the campfire.
so spooky.
Is this podcast even about camping?
No, but it is camp. This is Camp Counselors. Hey, happy campers! Welcome back to Camp Shady Birch.
It is week 130 here at camp.
And I just had the worst bagel of my life.
Do you want to...
I don't want to start off ever an episode on the low.
Okay.
But it's on my heart. And some would even call this my testimony.
Your toasted testimony.
You guys have to acknowledge that wherever you stand on the religious spectrum, the showmanship and the performance element of it is so fab. Like, to get up and to spread your truth and your gossip and call it your testimony is so fierce. Like, the way I just want to adopt all these religious words into my gay culture it's actually so offensive, but so it's my journey, I think.
I thought you were going to say that you were having a religious experience with your bagel.
Quite the opposite. It was so middle of the road. It was not even purgatory. It was agnostic. It was an agnostic bagel.
Okay, let's talk about it.
Wait, I hate to do this again to Panera. We just talked about this.
Panera slander.
The Panera slander must continue because I don't know who's in their flavor department, but they have long COVID because nothing tastes like anything. Jonathan, unfortunately, loves to keep me fat. He loves to feed the Christmas hog over here. Gets me fat for winter, even though spring is on the horizon.
Full clarification, we were walking down the grocery store aisle together and you stopped.
Yes, because I stopped to get a short stack of bagels because while I was in Puerto Rico, I came home and there was bagels in the house. We never buy bagels. Lord knows I don't need another carb at my leisure. I'm always gonna grab a carb, but now you're tempting the beast.
Sorry.
So he bought a small stack of Thomas bagels, which are phenomenal. I do want to say really quickly, I don't know why we're talking about this first. Thomas, when I was younger, had a lot more like variety and flavor. They've kind of cut down their selection.
Yeah, what happened to the select?
I don't know. I'm never seeing enough flavor variety, but they're a superior bagel. So when we were in the local grocer, I saw the Panera cinnamon sugar bagels. And I said, you know what? If anything, our mess hall needs a refresh. You guys are constantly freaking out because all we're serving you is powdered scrambled eggs and fake bacon. And it's like, okay, pay more to be here. So I was like, let me try this out. I'm going to write it off because this isn't expensive for the camp to
Obviously.
see if we could add this to the rotation of the breakfast menu. And you guys, I had one this morning and wow, I didn't taste any. There's no flavor.
Okay, what flavor did you
Cinnamon
get?
sugar.
And there was no cinnamon or sugar inside.
It was literally nothing. 250 calories of empty carbs. And I put a generous smear of Philadelphia cream cheese. She's never done me wrong.
Interesting choice of cream cheese on I wouldn't have done that. I would have went for the butter.
Oh, well, doesn't matter.
I'm sorry that you didn't have any flavor on it though. That's like not worth the calories.
I know. So what do we do?
You
Do we
can't take
throw
it
them
back.
out? Do I keep eating them? I
We
want to
can't throw them
waste.
out.
I don't want to, but I don't want to keep eating empty calories. So what's your plan?
We have to find toppings that'll add to the flavor. Maybe a peanut butter, maybe a jam.
No. Anyways, it's not about that right now. I'm a little off today. We woke up very early because we had to we drove into Manhattan for a medical appointment from Brooklyn and back and was back parked in front of our apartment at 9:20. That's insane in New York to go all the way from Brooklyn to the Upper East Side and back. That's how early we were. So I'm having a cup of coffee, a little cup of java to kind of keep me moving. Jonathan, take it away. Why were we in Manhattan? Because you have your truth and your honesty and people are waiting to hear this. Truly, take it over because this is your testimony.
This is like, I cannot tiptoe around it anymore.
You haven't been. You've been quite simply stomping on this issue.
You guys, if you've noticed anything different about me, it's true. I got a hair transplant. Pause for applause. Hey, and a lot of people did think I was joking about it, and that's on me. But I did get a hair transplant. This has been in the works for months now, probably since the end of last year, but it's been in my head since I cut my long hair. I used to have long hair in 2020. It was luscious. COVID hit. I cut my hair off, and then it was just, I don't know what happened. My scalp didn't like it, and it just like wasn't regrowing hair, and it progressively got worse. You got like, I wear a lot of hats on here, so like most people didn't notice, but the front of my head, how would you even describe it?
You had a bald spot that like you had a poof in the middle, and then there was almost like a U-shaped driveway.
Yes, very much that of like lost hair. And it was, and just,
no one ever, everyone says, "Oh, I didn't know." You have very curly hair, so you were able to hide it pretty well. I didn't care, but I know you care.
My hair, my barber, he like was good at letting it grow where it was, and I kind of would just like zhuzh it to the side, so you couldn't really tell. But when you really got up close and personal, you could see it, and it was getting progressively worse. Like even the beginning of this year, it's just gone. And
at the end of 2023, my hair started to really get thin really fast. Like the density on my top of my head was so bad. So I was looking up hair specialist in New York City. So I found him. Great job. So my hair is thinning kind of on the crown, and it's still
that's a usual spot, you know?
Yeah, it's still thin, but it was kind of getting thin the whole top of my head. So I go every 3 months to get this kind of like I don't want to call it, it's kind of like this current that comes through an electric charge, and they kind of like put this gel on my hair and they go back and forth and whatever.
They zapisha the alopecia.
They had to keep it at bay because Miss Pisha was popping through. So and over the course of the past 9 months that I've been going, I do feel it's got thicker results. At some point down the line, I might need a hair transplant. But when I was going through this process, my doctor there told me, he was like, hey, like there's a really small window when you start losing hair. Like if you don't kind of stay on top of it, you can't really reverse it. And there becomes a certain point where you've lost too much hair where a hair transplant isn't viable. So when I came home like last summer, when I started doing this treatment, I was like, Jonathan, like I know that you want a hair transplant or to get your hair fixed, so you need to be on top of this. And I begged you for 5 months to call and make an appointment because I knew that you were going to be on a waiting list for months, and you finally did it in December.
Was on a waiting list for months.
Yeah, you called in December, and they're like, we can get you in March.
Yeah, it was definitely a long wait and a decision that was made months ago. But when I went in, I was like, okay, I'm just going to get what Zach was. I'll have what he's having.
Oh, baby.
You know?
Oh, baby.
And he took a little look and he said, not only are you a viable candidate, I would do this as soon as you can, because I cannot promise by the time you turn 33 that there's going to be hope for you. And I'm not saying that to discourage anybody, because I did get a lot of DMs from a lot of people, either them wanting one or their partners wanting to get one and considering it. So I do have a lot of questions that were asked that I'll get to in a second. But yeah, my specific situation, he said, baby, we gotta get
Move
this
fast
on the schedule now. And he wasn't doing it to like pressure me, because I also know from you went to the same exact doctor and he wasn't pressuring you to get into anything. So this isn't something that you go and then they try to sell you on. Like that was my case.
No, but it's like a thing where it's like there's a window here, and if you miss it, you miss it. So, and also I think it takes so much courage to go and advocate for yourself in really any medical aspect. I think across the board, like I was open about this when I started going on my sweat medication. I think that like took me years to be able to like tell a doctor honestly how I was feeling. So it's like you really need to jump over that first hurdle. But by the time that you probably make that choice to be honest with a doctor and make an appointment, you're probably already ready to go. Like, you know what I mean? You don't go willy-nilly with something like this.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess I just like, I don't know. I wasn't ready to face the facts.
Okay. So how did it go? And can I ask you a personal question that I think you're going to be nervous I'm going to ask you, but I do think for transparency, everyone's going to want to know.
What?
How much did this cost?
Okay. So I did not go to Turkey.
Everyone goes to Turkey, which you can. You show it totally. People get great results in Turkey. They really do. So it's not terrible to go to Turkey.
And the reason a lot of people go to Turkey is mostly because it is much cheaper.
It's about $5,000 to do it in Turkey. I've looked it up before.
And my cost was around like $18,000.
Yeah, but you
full transparency.
No, well, I think seriously, when you talk about this stuff, I think it's so important. And it's fuck you. It's your literal money. You work your ass off. Like, spend it how you want to spend it. We don't have kids. Like, I think don't be embarrassed that it's your life. You're a performer. Like, so.
And also, hey, the down payment was made before the tariffs, baby. I didn't know any of this was going to happen. Couldn't have been a worse time for me to spend the money.
I'm terrified.
No, I'm literally
Did you
terrified.
See her shirt? Terrified?
No.
It's like tariffs, but spelt terrified.
Classic.
And then someone put it on Threads, and they're like, the fact that she didn't have these shirts readily available on sale on her website the minute that SNL episode dropped. I'm like, so true.
So true.
Bad business, though. Love you, though.
But yes, it was a very expensive, very pricey situation. And once my down payment was made, there was really no backing out. I was putting off looking over the pre-care. I knew what I couldn't do. I couldn't like drink 2 weeks before, stop smoking, stop vaping, all of that fun stuff, stop taking certain medications. So I knew all that, but I couldn't bring myself to look up the exact procedure because I knew I would get too much in my head.
For someone who's such a horror fan, and I've literally watched movies with you where there is like the grossest stuff happening and you don't even squirm. I'm literally hands in front of my face. I can't believe how nervous you were. I guess because it was happening to you.
Because it was happening to me, and I've also worked on horror films where like I know just how much work and like I used to be the king of making fake blood, okay? But I knew I would also have to be awake for it. And that is another thing that, yes, this is a surgical procedure that you are awake for. I don't know if they keep you awake in Turkey. I think they might knock you out.
It's rough and rowdy in Turkey. Should we skip to like the day of?
Yes, let's skip to the day of. I was very anxious. It was very early in the morning. It was 7:15. And I'm just like, I was pissy. I was just anxious.
You weren't pissy, but I will say I felt so bad because I could I knew there was nothing I could do to help you. And I knew that they were going to give you like a Xanax when you got there, which was going to like ultimately be the best thing for you. But you were a shell of yourself. You were like, it was all over your face. And when they brought you back there, I got to go back for the preliminary, like of them doing like the pre-work before they started. And he was asking you questions and you couldn't even answer them before you even take any medication. And he was like, are you good? Like,
well, that was the other thing is I couldn't take, because I asked, I was like, can I take a Xanax or can you give me something before I even like get there that I can take the morning of? And they're like, no, because you have to sign documents that you cannot be under the, and I get it.
And you shouldn't be.
Yeah, but I'm like, just email them to me, please.
Because
like,
you were like, almost like, I looked at you and I was like, it's, you know, when you look at your partner and you're like, oh my God, they're on the verge of tears. Like you look like you were about to start crying. And I'm like, and there was nothing I could say to you that was going to calm you down. I felt so terrible.
Champagne problems. Worst things are happening in the world.
It's the topic of the issue.
This is the topic of the episode.
We understand our privilege here for sure, but we're not going to not talk about it.
You left. You went to the waiting room. I changed into my little gown, which it was a 00. I fit perfectly.
It was actually an American Girl doll dress.
Yeah. I was just so teensy.
You were like, sir, put some underwear on.
They're like, you actually didn't have to get naked for this.
Swanging, eyes closed, just swanging.
And then he took me to the surgical room, and it was like so fast that it was happening because then my medication was hitting me, whatever the hell he gave me, Valium, a cocktail of things that were making me feel okay. And then like a group of 10 people came in, and I was like a little overwhelmed. And there was a massage table where you like put your face through the hole. And he's like, all right, let's get to it. Get on down there. So I laid on the table and it started from there. The procedure went from around like 7:30 a.m. and it wasn't done until 6 p.m.
So before your surgery started, I think it's important to say that before you went in there, when we were in the room together, they took a Sharpie or a black marker and they basically drew where they wanted to put your new hairline on the front of your forehead. And he was so thorough, he would like erase it with like a wet wipe and then go back and be like, I think this one needs to be higher based on the slope of your forehead.
We did ask some people on Patreon to ask questions.
Okay,
so I'm going to answer a couple of those.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so first question, Shannon asked, when did you realize you wanted this? Why not become a bald king? When do you expect the results to be realized? Will you have a head of hair as ginger as your beard at this point? I guess my hair on my head isn't really ginger. It's like, it's brown.
It's brown, but then your beard turns Christmas.
Yeah,
a little Christmas cookie you are.
So no, my hair is not going to be red. It's going to be the same color as my hair. So it's going to be brown. But I don't know. I just didn't want to. I could be a bald king at any point. Right now is not the point I wanted to do that at, you know? Results will vary. I think I'm going to see results, like full results, starting in like 6 months-ish. But then when it comes to the procedure, okay, maybe skip forward if you're a little bit squeamish, but I'm not going to get into too many details. Lily asked, what exactly do they do in a hair transplant? Give us your best camp counselor medical explanation. Okay, so there's different types of ones that you can get. The one that I got is called follicular unit extraction, or FUE. And basically they shave your head, the back of your head, which will be the donor area. So they take the hair follicles from the donor area and then place them onto the area where you're balding. They have to drill a little hole in the back, pull it on out, and then drill a little hole in the front, and then put the grafts in. And then they bandage you up and you're on your way. But I was awake for the whole thing, and I was not blindfolded, but they put stuff over my face so the bright lights weren't in my eyes. So I was really just laying there with my thoughts. And they had people like circulating in and out to make it as like efficient as possible. They asked me if I wanted like a lunch break or whatever, and I said no. I got up one time to pee, and that was my only break. That took me maybe 1 minute. I wouldn't look at myself in the mirror. And then I was like, let's just go. Because honestly, at some part, it's not for the weak, okay? At some parts, I knew that my head was numb because they use a local anesthetic, but I could hear and feel the shaking on my skull. And I was like, this is a lot. And it was a lot. Next question. This question's coming from Brooke, who says, what makes you a good candidate for a transplant? I'm genuinely curious. So obviously talk to a doctor. I'm not a medical professional, but from what I have learned, in your early 30s, I think the age, like the golden era of getting a hair transplant, like for longevity wise, and what's going to look good in that your donor area is going to be the best for, is like between 30 and 39. I think if you're at the age of 20, it depends, but people around the age of 25, if you're experiencing hair loss, they have other treatments, kind of what Zach is getting.
And I think too, if you start it too soon, like you kind of need to see like where it's going to all fall out before you start, because a new area could develop that you already went through with that you didn't know was coming. So it's like, you want to wait till probably about 30 to even consider it.
Right.
And it all depends.
Yeah.
Really.
So I reach out to a doctor and have them tell you, but that's kind of what I was told and what I have learned. Okay. Nikita asks, what is the projected healing time? And did you go under or get numbed? Happy hairy healing. I love that. So like I think a full year is when I'm going to see full results. But up until then, it kind of varies person to person, which is what I'm like nervous about. Nobody has full answers. So we'll see. And no, I did not go under. I just got numbed. Nicole asks, what have you been doing to pass the time during your recovery? Any TV shows, movies, podcast recommendations? Any iPad games? Okay. So the recovery originally, I wasn't worried about. It was really just the procedure. And the day after the procedure, I felt fine. I was like, oh my God, that was a piece of cake. I was shocked at how fine I felt. But he did warn me about day 5, and day 5 creeped around, and it was the most incredibly intense pain. It felt like every time I laid down, let me clarify that the pain was happening in the donor site, so the back of my head. You cannot sleep laying down. You have to sleep sitting up with a neck pillow on for at least 2 weeks, which has been a nightmare. And I am allergic to most pain medications, so I couldn't really take much. So I think other people's experiences would probably be easier than mine. After day 5, day 4, 5, and 6 were pretty hellish. It felt like I was laying down on broken glass.
I feel like it was like you were teething because your hair follicles were starting to grow back in on the back of your head where they had taken them out. So it was like raw.
Oh, and I thought that a hair follicle is when you like your hair falls out, or like you pull out your beard, because I like also have that issue. And you see like the little nub of whatever's on there. I thought that was just a follicle. Baby, it goes deeper than that. It is like when they have your hair follicle out, they go like to your brain. They could like basically take my memories out, is essentially what it was. But yeah, so it was rough. It was not good. I'm sorry, what was the question? The question wasn't even, so how have I been passing the time? I've been reading a lot. I read 4 books. I read 4 damn novels.
My little bookworm.
Miranda asks, go-to recovery snack? Sending you all my love and positive healing vibes. Honestly, been heavily snacking on frozen mangoes.
Yeah, we're in our frozen mango era for sure.
Loving a frozen mango. Okay, I'm going to answer one more question. And this one is coming from Jessica, who says, hi, Counselor Jonathan. My sister and I are wondering why you chose to wear that Guy Fieri ass shirt. Okay, so yes, I had a Guy Fieri ass shirt because you cannot put a shirt over your head. So you have to wear things with zippers, you have to wear things with buttons, and a normal men's button-up shirt is like, it's business cash, and that is dead ass not comfortable because you have to sleep in it too for like your whole recovery process. So I ordered this shirt. It was Guy Fieri ass, and it is heinous, and it's like that cheap polyester plasticky swimsuit material.
It's giving Sheen.
It was actually the most comfortable thing to wear. It was the most comfortable to sleep in. It felt the most cooling.
It was the hardest
most
to look
breathable.
at for sure.
And that's not my problem, okay? I did have a couple of ugly shirts on rotation, and I had a nice little sweat set.
He's haunting the house in his Guy Fieri shirt with a bandage on his head, a donut around his neck, and he's eating frozen mango out of a bowl going, ooh. I was like, what is happening?
And that was just my life. That's just been my life.
You're strong, mama.
So that is why I was wearing that shirt. I would recommend getting a shirt that is that sort of material. But you know, the show must go on. Thank you guys so much for being patient with us and being patient with me. I'm still a little out of it, you know. I'm still a little foggy. I can't wear my contacts. I haven't worn as long as I've never worn contacts. And the way that I have to shower is preposterous. It's basically like doing the ALS ice bucket challenge on my head. My showers are 3 times the length. And that's that on that. But I am recovering. Thank you for the well wishes. I'm feeling much better now, doctor. Thank you. And when my hair grows back, it's over for you bitches. This episode is sponsored in part by MeUndies. All right, let's talk about what I've got going on down there. Yes, I am talking about underwear. Every day brings new challenges, and comfortable underwear should not be one of them. That's why MeUndies is always the first pair I reach for. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I have genuinely been wearing MeUndies for years. They are incredibly comfortable. And as many of you know, because I won't stop talking about it, I recently had a hair transplant. Currently in my healing era, and comfort has been my #1 priority. And whether I'm healing in my head wrap on the couch for 8 days straight, or I'm out and about taking on life, MeUndies has me covered, literally. Whether you're into classic colors or you want to show a little personality with fun prints, they've got a look for everyone. And they come in sizes extra small to 4XL, giving every body a flattering fit. And if for some reason you're not happy with your first pair, it's on MeUndies. Treat yourself to comfort that hugs you in all the right places with MeUndies. Get 20% off your first order plus free shipping on orders of $75 or more at MeUndies.com/counselors. Enter promo code counselors. That's MeUndies.com/COUNSELORS and use code counselors for 20% off. MeUndies. Comfort from the outside in.
Attention campers, please meet at the old flagpole under the tall pine for morning announcements.
Welcome back to Morning Announcements, campers. We're back to our regular scheduled programming here. This is the part of the show where we tell you news articles that you might have missed that we want you to spread like wildfire. Jonathan, what is your article of the week?
So last week's episode, which absolutely hilarious, Mamrie Hart, killing it. We talked about birds, right? You had a bird story, I had a bird story. They were both happy. I once again am coming at you with a bird story, but it is quite the opposite.
Oh, scary birds?
So this is coming from CBC Canada News. It's an article by Kate Bueckert, and the title is, "We Can't Even Leave Our House. Waterloo Students Terrorized by Angry Nesting Canada Geese."
Oh my God, Birds by Hitchcock.
Literally Birds by Hitchcock.
Or Angry Birds, that game.
Lest we forget the very successful movie.
Angry Birds is just a Hitchcock ripoff.
No, it really is. Remember Flappy Bird?
Who cares?
Okay, this is how the article starts off. The screams were picked up on the doorbell camera. The video shows Jory Harris and his roommates rushing to get inside of their Waterloo, Ontario home as Canadian geese fly at them. Harris, a student at Wilfrid Laurier University, has shared a compilation video on TikTok of a pair of angry geese attacking people out front of his house. He says, quote, "We can't even leave our house now. They're just so angry. There's now a nest there, so we actually just don't know what to do anymore." Harris said that earlier this month, she was coming home from class when she noticed these 2 geese in her lawn. She speculated with her roommates on what could happen if these geese started to nest. So remember, they're in Canada, and like
Canada goose, simply.
Canada goose, they're kind of used to having geese around. And she knew that this was not a great sign. It's kind of like an omen when 2 geese show up on your front lawn.
Oh, they're scouting.
Oh, they're scouting and they're fucking.
Should she have like shooed them away? Shoo.
That's what I would have done. Or I would have put like, I don't know, like something crazy on the lawn.
A wolf.
Yeah, or put glitter in the grass to deter them.
A wolf.
Oh my God. Okay, so there's a video of one friend who's carrying a box of literally 20 croissants from Costco. And this goose just comes up and starts attacking, like pulling at the hood, pulling at the sleeves, like biting, screaming, gawking, grabbing the... Okay, so then what happens when the croissants hit the ground? Others come flocking, and then they start snacking. And then what happens when you feed a hungry cat? If you give a mouse a cookie, it'll come back. A bunch of geese just start showing up in their fucking front lawn, and they can't leave the house. Literally, like, they don't know. I would get an air horn. Do you think that would deter them? Oh my God.
Well, they're attacking me.
You know what? It is self-defense. And as much as I love birds and all of God's great creatures, birds have teeth. Have you seen the teeth that are on geese?
They're almost like ridges.
They're scary.
They're not really incisors.
So geese are especially protective during their nesting season. This is why they're getting so pissed. They're like, the babies are coming.
The recipe to your mom's fucking peach cobbler, bitch. I don't care about your fucking egg. Like, no one wants it. Like, go yell at a fox. I'm trying to go to work.
And this aggressive issue is not new to people in Waterloo. In 2015, there's a video. I'm not going to post it anywhere. It's so sad. A turkey was bullied by geese in the same exact neighborhood. The turkey then flew into a third window of a building and died.
Oh my God.
The same year, some students dubbed a particularly aggressive goose the spawn of Satan. And for several years, other students at this university have come up with a goose watch map to help others on campus avoid the angry birds. And they're not doing it as a joke. They're like, hey, avoid these areas because you will get attacked. Mm-hmm. Whether you see that, like, they can come from behind. They just don't want people in their vicinity.
They literally did with that croissant story.
And if anyone in the comments says it's just in their nature, I get it, but fucking find somewhere else. You're on my campus. You're not paying tuition. You're not in student debt. You clearly have a happy family. You're fertile, myrtle. Go find a fucking pond, bitch. Thank you. So here are some really quick tips if you have to deal with this. Give them space by giving them a wide berth. Berth. Do you know what that is?
Yeah, like a wide berth, like space. You already said it.
Give the bitches space or take a different route. Keep dogs on a leash because they will also attack dogs. Watch for families of geese on the move. They are the angriest. Be patient. That one I'm not even saying. I'm not being patient.
Families on the move
you.
are always the angriest, even in human culture.
That is so true.
Like, you see a family at the airport, stay clear.
Dead ass. Stay clear.
So there was a major geese problem at the Buttonwood Park Zoo where I grew up in New Bedford, and they always would hang out by the lake. And that's a common place for people to park to do their walks around the park. And when I used to do my walks when I was living there, and I kind of like when I would pass the geese, especially this time of year during nesting season, like you almost had to like out your peripheral, make sure. And honestly, too, what I would say, too, as a tip, as someone who's dealt with an angry goose before, not at that level, but I have had my encounters that have been quite scary. Eye contact, they don't like it. Like, don't be looking at them. You know what I mean? Like, peripheral. Because you want to kind of like look at them a little bit, but if you like lock eyes with them, I swear they think it's aggressive.
They probably do. It's the same when you like smiled at a monkey when we were in Indonesia.
I know. Animals, like sometimes they really don't like me, which is kind of weird. I hate to say it, but like I have had my run-ins with a lot of animals.
No, you really have.
I think because they like see that I'm also boisterous.
Yeah, or they can read your energy and they're like, that's a lot. I don't know how to read it. I'm attacking.
Sorry, I'll take a Xanax before I go to the park.
No, they need to take a Xanax. Seriously.
Bird Xanax.
I grew up with a giant pond in my backyard. It was like, Zach, you've seen it. If you're on Patreon, you've seen the vlogs, but it's like a giant pond in the middle of our block that everybody's backyard backed up into. And we had tons of geese. Never once had an attack. Never once saw an angry goose.
Well, this is Canadian geese, not Chicagan geese.
Which is different because you would think Canadian geese would be so much friendlier like the people, don't you know?
Well, they somehow have to kind of even the scales.
They always say that we could learn a lot from animals, but maybe this animal can particularly learn a little bit from us. Just a thought. So that's that on that.
Wait, my story comes from consequences.net.
This sounds horrifying already.
No, it's actually so lovely, and it does not relate to yours at all. Weird. By Joe Vito. I'm going to save the title of the article to the end.
Scandal.
Patti LaBelle and Elton John have quite a history together. He first backed her on piano when he was with Bluesology years before he was Elton John. That was like her like kind of band. She wasn't really famous. He wasn't famous. He wasn't even going by Elton John. And the two later recorded together in the 2000s. Yet when recently asked what the first story that comes to mind when she hears John's name, LaBelle had a clear answer. The time he stole her Tupperware. She was on Sherry Shepherd and she was playing this game, was like, oh, I'll show you a celebrity and then tell me a story about what you first think of. And she was like, yep, Elton John stole my Tupperware. So Patti LaBelle detailed the incident in an appearance on Sherry Show, explained that it occurred when she was performing in London in the 60s with Bluesology as her backing band. She invited the musicians over to her place to play cards after a show, including a young John. At that time, though, he was going by his real name, which is Reginald Dwight.
Reggie.
Yeah, Reggie. And upon winning, LaBelle took all their pounds and their money. And then she didn't leave them with enough money for them to even buy food. So she like felt bad. So LaBelle did the nice thing and made them food to take home, but she unknowingly made a mistake packing it up in her personal Tupperware in shopping bags. So she said, so I gave them some food to take back home and they never paid me back. She said, for LaBelle, the leftover larceny was an unforgettable offense. My Tupperware is very important to me, she said. I don't give it out. She goes, I want my darn Tupperware. Darn.
What is that?
Like darn, but darn.
Oh, I want my darn Tupperware bag.
But John never delivered it back. And she held on to all these years later. At least not the Tupperware. He did, however, make it up to LaBelle years later when the two collaborated on LaBelle's 2005 cover of Your Song for her Classic Moments album. During a joint performance around that time, John was at the piano and he took off his rings and put them on the piano, LaBelle said. When he finished, I said, Elton, there's your rings. And he said, that's your Tupperware. In LaBelle's words, the ring was beautiful and she still has it to this day. And there's a video of it.
Oh my God.
And he's like, no, that's your Tupperware. And she puts it down and it's like probably like a $2 million ring. I'm not even joking. It's like an insane ring. And he's like, that's your Tupperware.
She's like, I actually don't want that. I just need something to put my leftovers in.
No, she saw, this was 2005. That was literally 45 years later. She's gagged. But now she's famous.
That is so funny.
And it was so funny when she's telling the story in the Sherry Show. She's like, he called me 2 years later after this happened. And he was like, I want you to come see my show. And she's like, what's your show? And he's like, I'm Elton John. She's like, oh my God, motherfucker, you made it before I did. Because they kind of came up at the same time.
Right.
It's just so funny. So so that video does exist. And it's really a blingy ring. And this is just like the rest of this article is kind of just describing that she's like, oh my God. Knowing the story behind the exchange, the site and LaBelle's expressions are honestly hilarious. And this article title was Patti LaBelle says Elton John never returned her Tupperware.
I would have clicked on that as fast as I could. I did not see the story. It did not cross my desk. That is hilarious. What if maybe it was like a pasta sauce situation where he microwaved it, and you know how you microwave with the pasta sauce in Tupperware and then it's just stained? It's fucked.
I think when they were in Bluesology, like neither of them even had money like that either. So she probably was genuinely pissed.
And he probably was like, I didn't have Tupperware. I need this.
Yeah, like they were both like really like kind of like coming up through the ranks in London at that point.
Lest we forget, Tupperware was one of, if not the first MLM scheme. Did you know that?
Yes, I did. And also now that you're saying that, I think it probably was even more valuable at that point than it is now. Yeah,
like they used to have like dinner parties, like moms and women would have these dinner parties where they would have like a whole bar cart that was just Tupperware products. And they were like, this is where you can put the food.
Have you ever been to an MLM party?
No, I would like to go to one. Is anybody having one? I'll go.
I've been to a few. Probably, I can think of 3 off the top of my mind. One was an Athena's.
Wait, is it? What is that? Is that
Baby, Athena's. The girls at home.
Is
know
that
Athena's.
that's the workout stuff? The workout gear?
Oh, you're working out in some way or another.
Wait, what is that?
I went with my friends at Olive Garden. Athena's is like it's sex toys.
Oh.
But that's like the one. Like Athena's is the Athena's.
I'm like leggings.
No,
The leggings.
Someone we know his mom used to sell Athena's.
Oh, quite the scandal. You understand?
No, it's not a scandal. It's hustle. I went to one of those. I went to a fake North Face party, which was like I've talked about that before. It was like they were just selling like counterfeit Coach and North Face, and I bought a fake North Face.
Were you on Canal Street?
No, that was at Corinne Serpa's house. You can keep her full name. I don't think she cares. She's married now, so good luck. And that was literally going back like 12 years ago.
The police bust down her door. They were like, "Where are the counterfeit fleeces?"
I said, "Give me the silver fleece," and it looked so good, but you could tell it was fake because the inside of the pockets were like kind of like slippery, and that's not what a North Face would be.
Oh no!
And this was 2012, and everybody wanted a North Face. And then the last one I went to, once again, another classic, was a Pampered Chef party. And I bought salt and pepper shakers.
Oh my God, Pampered Chef was an MLM scheme?
Yeah, of course.
The chokehold that had on every suburban mother.
Well, because Pampered Chef it's not bad.
And that's the thing is like, well, I think MLMs need to be outlawed. I think they need to be eradicated. They fuck so many people over. It's terrible. It is terrible. But
the thing is with Pampered Chef, it's like a product. It's not like skincare or something like that, which I think, and skincare results can vary. It could work, it could not. But like a pasta strainer is a pasta strainer, it's going to work.
Right, but that's what I'm saying is like, well, what happens when the product's really good? It's like, well, I'm in this MLM scheme, I want out, but I don't want to lose my discount on this pizza cutter. First time I ever saw a pizza cutter in a pizza stone, Pampered Chef.
Yeah, because it's not a bad product.
Are you sure they're an MLM? That's nuts.
Yeah, well, it's just I wouldn't know if it's an MLM, but I'm assuming it is because I've been to a Pampered Chef party. What else would that be? These were all MLMs. I feel like the only one that might not have been an MLM was the North Face one. That could have just been someone that came into a bulk order of just fake stuff. I don't know if they were like recruiting.
Black market.
I don't think they were recruiting people, so that probably wasn't one.
Okay. Is anybody in an MLM? Campers Rights? Oh my God. Okay, let's.
My parents were in one.
For what? Can
Remember
you share?
we looked it up? It wasn't Avon. Was
we
it
did
Avon?
Look it up. No, it wasn't Avon.
Somebody, and then we couldn't remember it last time, and then one of you said what it was.
We did it. We talked about it on the podcast, and someone in the comments
Someone knew what it was.
Clutch.
It wasn't Avon. You guys knew what it was.
It wasn't Mary Kay either.
It was something else. You guys remember what it was?
Ashley Madison.
And they went to some big meetup in St. Louis under the Arches.
McDonald's?
No.
St. Louis. Wait, sorry.
I said St. Louis, the Arches.
No, I know, but I was thinking
Meet me in St. Louis.
Have you seen that movie?
No, it sounds cute.
It's kind of annoying. I'm sorry, Judy Garland fans. I'm not being a good gay, but
don't you? Then take it back. Then
that's where
take it back.
The Christmas song. What's the one
Sisters?
where? No, there's a Christmas song that's like very popular, and it came from that movie.
White Christmas.
No, I forget what it is.
Okay, let's just move on because all we're doing is just not remembering anything.
We went from Patti LaBelle to Tupperware to MLM to makeup to McDonald's to St. Louis to Judy Garland slander. How did we get here? That's exactly how. That's the roadmap.
This episode is sponsored in part by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy. Just drop in some details about yourself and see if you're eligible to save money when you bundle your home and auto policies. This process only takes minutes, and it could mean hundreds more in your pocket. Visit progressive.com after this episode to see if you can save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary, not available in all states.
Hello, my name is Jackie Schimmel. I'm the host of the Bitch Bible Podcast. If you've never listened to the Bitch Bible Podcast, I genuinely feel terrible for you. Because up until this moment, you haven't really been living or experiencing true, untethered, unhinged, morally flexible joy infiltrating your ear canals on a weekly basis. The good news is, there's still time for you, Katie. Buckle up, Buttercup, because I'm about to take you on a real bender for pop culture musings, aggressive social commentary, both piping hot and barely lukewarm takes, plus charisma for days. Make sure you listen to the Bitch Bible Podcast because objectively and unbiasedly, in my very humble opinion, it's the best podcast you will ever listen to. You'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll guffaw, you'll be appalled. And guess what, Katie? You'll just keep coming back for more. So go listen to the Bitch Bible Podcast, available wherever you get your podcasts. You're welcome.
grab your bug juice and bear spray, campers. It's time to pack it up and take a hike.
Welcome back to Take a Hike. I hope you have your boots on because we're going to lace it up and tell something to take a hike. This is a bar show where we bitch a little, don't you know? And we lace it up, we tell something to take a hike. So during my healing process of my hair growth journey, I did not sleep for a full, nearing 48 hours. Truly, I tried to sleep and I was like, hey, it's 5 o'clock in the morning. I have not even dozed off. I'm just going to get up and do my own thing. And I was heavily medicated. This was one of the first couple of days. And I had this out of body experience, this fever dream while awake of a plot of a novel that I'm dead ass, campers, working on. Yes, I'm working on a novel. That's not the take a hike.
I was like, is that the take a hike?
The take a hike is the process. It's so scary. I bought books on writing books. I'm doing my research. I'm taking courses. I did take courses in college, but I haven't applied them. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm kind of holding myself accountable by saying this out loud. And I want you campers to hold me accountable too. But I'm actually in love. Am I writing the best novel possible? Yes. Is it one of the scariest things I've ever done on day 3? I'm balls deep right now. I'm so scared. But it's so intimidating. I have scrapped 10,000 different ideas, 10,000 different plot lines, twists, turns. I'm killing off characters that I'm loving. I'm like, wait, actually, I don't want to do that. So it's just and I'm really distracted right now, because I'm trying to focus, but how can one focus while being distracted?
I'm so excited for you. I think you read so much. And I told him this last night, you guys. I said, Jonathan, you read books all the time that you absolutely thought were trash and they got published. So where is the fear in this? There should be no fear because people are going to love it. People are going to hate it. People are going to have their opinions on it, but that's what it is. And I think you, of all people, have what it takes to write a book. This is you are insane in the memory.
You guys, please give it a good review on Goodreads when it's out there.
God. The campers will go nuts for this. They it, of course, and I won't give, he won't even tell me things about it.
I won't, because I need to mock up at least a draft for you to read, because if I just tell you up front, you're going to know everything.
But if I I won't tell you anything, but what he has told me, it's literally so outlandish. The campers, they're actually gonna flip because just when you give me the log line of it, I was like, oh, this is so crazy. It's so you.
I don't think anybody's ever written something near the concept. I probably, well, no, I'm going to go on record and say that.
Well, I don't know. I kind of feel what if this is what you were always meant to do?
And maybe it is.
Maybe you're supposed to be an author.
Maybe it is. But if you guys don't believe me about this writing process, yesterday was the first day I left the house since my hair transplant. I had my little trucker hat on that my doctor gave me, and he gave me permission. He's like, this is the hat you're going to wear when you leave. Literally, Zach runs into me. I'm at the park. I didn't tell him I was at the park. I'm at the park with my fucking pen and highlighter, reading a book about writing a book. Was I not?
One of the 4 books he read in the week that he's been off, the last one he read was a book about how to write a book that was 400 pages. And he read it in 2 days. That's what I'm saying. For me, I'm also reading a book right now, not to make it about me, but I'm just saying I have to really carve out. I force myself to read because I want to be a reader. For you, it comes so naturally. So I think writing it is just going to be a breeze. I know it's daunting. I know that you take a hike, but silver lining here, can't wait to read it.
I know. I'm excited for it. I don't know when it's going to happen. That's the only things in the work. This isn't me being I have a project I can't tell you about. I'm literally dead ass telling you now that it came to me while I was absolutely delusional. So is it even a good story? I feel like I have to distance myself enough away from the pain medication for me to understand if it's a good story or not. But I think I'm just gonna go with it. I'm just going full throttle, empty bottle of pills.
So next book you write after this, you're gonna have to get another insane surgery.
What if that's my thing? I just have to get surgeries to write a good book. Oh my God, it's so misery coded.
You literally on your 10th book, you'll look like a Ken doll.
I'm one more, please.
Full cheek replacement.
Okay, so that's my take a hike. I'm just being silly because my dead ass take a hike would be the pain that I'm in. But who wants to hear me talk about that anymore?
No, I think you're being brave. Thank you for sharing.
You're so welcome. In this very moment, I'm king. And speaking of, it does feel like I'm wearing a barbed wire crown. I feel like Jesus almost.
Okay. Not this close to Easter, please.
He is risen. What are you telling to take a hike? He's finding the words, Camper.
Because it still stings. because it still stings. To be in a relationship is to share movies and shows and appointment TV that you do together. And last night, I'm getting watery-eyed right now because I'm like, you genuinely broke my heart when you were like, oh, you can watch that show without me. And thank you for the permission, but like also just put a gun down my throat because you don't care. You don't want to watch episode 2, season 12 of Real Housewives of New Jersey reunion? Part 2. You don't want to watch part 2 of you would rather read a book, which I love you and I support your dreams. And I didn't say anything, but truly a gun down the throat to have to watch Teresa and her brother Joe fight so intensely they had to take the camera crew and Andy off the stage to the green room to pick up record. And I'm gagging. I'm so excited. And I look at you and you're at the dining room table reading your book with your highlighter. And I don't want to interrupt you, but it's like, we came through this whole journey together and you could leave it so quickly. You don't even care. And all I care about is television. All I care about is reality TV. All I care about is media consumption. And I support you, but it just, oh my God, I don't want you to change what you're doing. That's not the point. But also like, am I allowed to speak? Am I allowed to mourn that we couldn't have shared that together and that I had to give you piecemeal after you did give me the time of day? It was difficult for me to process. I am strong. I did get through. I did watch it alone and it was hurtful, but I know you didn't mean it and I don't want you to change what you're doing, but am I allowed to speak?
Are you done speaking?
Yeah, I'll let you think how you think, but I know how I feel.
Okay. I am not going to deny your feelings. However, what was I doing? Literally scribbling down the 7th beat on my beat sheet on an index card that I'm going to stick up on the wall for this goddamn novel that has been consuming my brain.
I'm happy for you.
Also, this isn't
for me.
Hold on. This episode Zach's watching, by the way, came out 2 years ago. It's not new, babes. I understand and I see where you're coming from.
Okay, now throw that excuse out.
Remote in your hand, you made a decision. You could have watched a movie that I didn't want to watch. I gave you permission to watch the show and I'm not taking that back. So I'm not blaming you, but you ultimately did choose to watch it without me because I could have watched it with you after that, after I wrapped everything up. I just needed 1 more hour to finish my final thoughts.
It was 9 p.m.
You could benefit from patience.
After a long day, what do I do to decompress? That's my medicine. I'm not on Adderall. I'm not on antidepressants. I have a very stressful day some days. And the only thing I look forward to the other night is a high carb meal and my reality TV. And you know that. So we worked all weekend and that's what I needed. I needed that. And God forbid I start a show at 9 p.m. 9 p.m.
I'm not holding it against you. You can be angry.
I'm not angry. I'm hurt. What is the problem?
I'm just defending myself. Because
it was my take a hike, but I forgot I can't speak. I'm mute.
For our listener only, he is miming. He's trapped inside what looks like a box. He's screaming.
I'm out.
Oh my God, he got out.
I cut myself out with a knife.
It was glass. There's shards everywhere. I'm stepping in it. Ow, ow, ow. But wait. I don't think I said at the beginning. Let me deadass just shift gears. Hard left turn. Do you guys have emotional whiplash yet? But I wanted to thank you for literally doing everything for me while getting my hair transplant, which kind of does make the knife dig a little bit deeper. But Zach has literally, I wouldn't be able to survive without you. So thank you. You've literally, like, I've woken up from a nap and you have already had food that I like there because I was surviving. 52
minutes in and I finally get my flowers.
I love you.
I'm joking.
I love you and I thank you.
I would do it again and again and again. I'm just joking. I love you. I'm just joking about the TV. We're trying to create content here.
Well, good, because I'm going to get a hair transplant on my back. I want a hairy back.
Oh, maybe not that.
Do you think the new counselor likes the top bunk or the bottom bunk? Over.
Either way, I'm giving them my boondoggle keychain. Over.
Welcome back to Camper Crush of the Week. Yay, yay, yay. That was 3 yays if you can count. This is the part of the show where we celebrate achievements and excellence across the board. From child to adult to dog to kitty to emotions to physical objects to businesses. Counselor Jonathan, who is getting your ribbon of excellence this week?
So originally I had written down my camper crush of the week was Oxy's, but I'm not going to say that. Oh. And I was putting my hair transplant survival kit, but I feel like I touched on that. So maybe I'll just make my crush of the week a good book that I read.
Oh, I like that.
Okay. So also if you are looking for a hair transplant survival kit, maybe I'll put a shop my Amazon storefront. I dead ass will put one together. Okay. I read a book. What was it called? The Silent Patient. I don't have it in front of me because I'm just kind of like going off of the seat of my pants, flying by the fly of my pants. I forget who the author was. It was a male author. Shocking for me to read.
Wow.
I know.
Well, you're a male author.
Has published.
Did you have chills when I said that?
I did. I
saw you. You looked away.
I felt it in my graft site.
In your groin?
My graft site.
Well, I want you to feel it in your groin.
I will later. So the story follows this like therapist, right? I'm not going to give anything away. No spoilers. But this was so good. It follows this therapist who's like a psychotherapist. What is that called? A psychologist, right? Yeah, probably. And he has one of these patients at a psych ward, right? I don't know if that's PC for me to say. I'm just going with it. And she does not speak. She has not spoken since she murdered her husband out of nowhere. She's a painter. She was really successful.
That was gross.
Sorry, I bleeped that out, but it was a burp. I wasn't saying anything important. That was crazy. That just fell out of me. She was really, nobody needs to hear that in their ear. She was really successful. She was a successful painter, and her husband was successful in his own right, and nobody could figure out why she did it. So this psychologist starts to kind of go a little crazy himself, trying to get her to talk and figure out what's happening and fit the pieces together. And it takes place in London town. So the whole book I read in my head with an accent. Let me ask you guys this. Does anybody else read a book and select, like, is it when you read to yourself, is it your voice in your head? Sometimes I pick a celebrity to read me the book.
I don't know how you can even do that.
Is that weird?
No, I've heard people doing that. I want to, but I can't. I'm going to be honest with myself. It's my own voice.
Sometimes I'll have Miley Cyrus read me because I like her voice. She'll read, she read me this one and was like.
She read you The Silent Patient?
Yeah, in a British accent too. So it was, and I couldn't help it. It just was happening in my head.
Why didn't you choose Emily Osment?
I don't want to talk.
Actually, she's so famous and so busy.
She's ABC Family Freeform ass.
She's on that show. It's like something's first marriage, which I think is funny.
Alan and Gracie.
It's a spinoff of another show, but it's like their names and it says First Marriage, which they clearly got divorced later on. But I think the prequel. But I think it's so funny. First Marriage. Sorry, I like that.
That's okay. But the story again. Hang on, I'm gonna look it up. I'm sorry, because I can't as an author, as a fellow author myself. I would be remiss if I didn't mention his name.
It's not correct to not at least give the author some flowers. Can I ask you a question and queue up while you do this?
Oh, I have to say his last name like that? The book is The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides.
I think if someone searches The Silent Patient book, it'll come up.
Yeah, it's got a 4.2 out of 5 on Goodreads. I gave it a 5-star. It is classified as a thriller, a psychological thriller, a suspense thriller, a crime fiction, and a psychological fiction.
Nice.
They were just really going across. Oh, I clicked a spoiler. I already know what happens. If you guys are looking for a good book to sink your teeth into while you wait for mine, obviously, might I suggest that book? It was a good one. It was good. So bravo to him. Bravo.
Would you read another one of his books?
I would. I think this may have been his first.
Oh,
which is even more. I was like, wow. And then I look at the picture of him on the back of the book. I'm like, oh, and he's young and hot. Okay. What else you got?
This is so your journey. I'm telling you. You read an incredible book and then came up with an incredible book idea. The universe is unfolding in front of you. So why would you say no to it?
Yeah. What have you been crushing on? What do you want to grind your crotch into?
Wow. Okay. So before we had experienced Hairmageddon with you, I went to Puerto Rico with my friends.
Without me.
Without you, just with my friends. I think in life, you should prioritize your friendships. I've said this before, and have just friend trips because it's important to connect with your girls. And we spent every waking minute together. So I wanted to get away.
No qualms here. That was one of the questions on Patreon. Someone was like, was your hair transplant the reason you didn't go to Puerto Rico? No, you were going on a girls trip and I dead ass like encouraged you to do it.
Yeah, I had an insane year. So I wanted to treat my best friends and take them to Puerto Rico. So we went for Saturday to Tuesday, really quick trip, 3.5-hour flight from New York. So it was very fun. And I love Puerto Rico. That could be like a general crush of the week. Puerto Rico is a beautiful place, incredible food, incredible people, and just so overwhelmingly beautiful everywhere we went. There was a store there that is my crush of the week, and it's called Caribbean Beads. Wow. The concept of it is my crush of the week. So it's like a friendship bracelet kind of place where you can make bracelets and necklaces and anklets or whatever. And you go in there and they give you a little plastic like hand cart. And you walk around the store and there's trays and trays and trays of beads, and you can pick all your beads that you like. And then you go to the counter and you pick a chain or a string, and they will like solder the beads onto a chain for you. And then they'll make you a bracelet or a necklace or an anklet of beads that you made. Concept is the crush. I think this is beautiful. I know there's one in Brooklyn called Brooklyn Charms. That's amazing. I'm sure there's one in your city. If there's not, literally find a storefront and make this business, because like I paid $56 for mine and I hate it so much. But but like that's on me.
Wait, why do you hate it?
It's so ugly.
I was gonna ask why you're not wearing it. Wait, but you made it.
It's so ugly.
Were you drunk?
I wasn't drunk. I was trying to put a circle into a square. And let me explain what I mean by that. I exclusively like gold jewelry. I think it looks best on me. And if you don't think that, unsubscribe.
You're a winter.
Well, I would be a summer.
Either way.
Okay. So the gold there was hard to maneuver. There wasn't a lot of gold charms, a lot more silver. And I was just trying to make something work. And I went a little too poppy and it gave a little bit too plasticky. And when it came in, I said, oh my God, I am not a 19-year-old girl that works at like a smoothie shop. I don't know why I made a necklace. I am a 30-year-old man. And nothing to do with gender here. It's not age appropriate. I don't know where I'd wear this piece to. It's balancing weird. And all of the problems I have with it are from myself, not the actual business. So I love this as a concept, and that is my crush of the week. What I made, horseshit, $56 down the drain. And that's okay. I'm not upset with it. I'm just mad at myself. And we will post a picture of it. And you might be like, oh, I like it. And that's probably because you are a 19-year-old girl who works at an acai berry bowl store. So, and that's good for you. And maybe I can send it to you if you want it, because I don't want to waste it. But you won't catch me walking in this ever. So that is my crush of the week.
Oh, well, I'm sorry that it didn't work out for you. But that's interesting that they don't have the same charms in gold and silver. Because I feel like a lot of people would face the same problem where it's like, I like that one. I wish it was in.
Well, they almost felt like
one.
found beads.
Oh.
Like dead stock almost. Does that make sense?
Yes. Okay. So
they were like, they really ran the gamut of like really plasticky pieces.
Were there like one of a kinds where it's like you guys were fighting
one-offs.
Oh, see, that scares me. I like that, but I'm like, that scares me.
I think you love silver, and I think you would have made out like a banshee.
I think we should go and do one of those.
The thing
That's so craft cabin core.
It's such a fun idea that this doesn't even stop me from wanting to do it again.
Okay.
I think I've learned a lot, and I think I could be stronger.
Okay.
Also, my beads, when they were on the necklace and they were like hanging a little too, like they were touching, and I'm like, oh God, it's actually appalling. I hate it so much. I'll never wear it.
Okay, can you really quickly name like a couple of the charms that are on it for our audio only listeners?
For the center of it, I chose a red apple for New York. What the fuck is wrong with me? That's already so corny and so stupid. I have a cherry. Once again, am I going to Coachella? What the fuck's wrong with me? I have a little star with a diamond in the middle of the star. Stupid. A flower. Like, it's like giving like Claire's teen. It's so bad. It's so It's so
He's embarrassed. He's turning
I am
red.
embarrassed. I can't think about it. I'm like, okay, was there ever? And I told Kira that I hated it. And Kira goes, yeah, I thought it was crazy the way you were making yours.
But she was letting you express yourself. That's a good friend who's like, she thought that you were going to love it and she let you express yourself.
I know, but Des didn't do it because Des had the same problem I was doing it. And Des was like, oh, I'm just like not finding my journey here. And I'm not going to waste money on this if I don't like what I'm seeing.
You guys should have drank before you went.
And we were drinking all day, babe.
Oh, maybe that was the problem.
And in the middle of it, I almost wanted to give him on mine, but I knew that if I didn't make mine and Des wasn't making hers and it was just
Kira wouldn't do it either.
the trip would have been ruined.
Oh, so you're a martyr.
Yeah, I kind of was. And Kira. Kira, I love you. But if I would have said no after Des said no and you were in the middle of yours, you would have thrown your beads in the air and then like cried and found a stray cat. Like you would have been pissed.
She does do that sometimes.
So I am a martyr, but like at the end of the day, like no one put a gun in my head and made me put a red apple in the middle of it. And that was wild of me to do. So like, who am I?
I'll tell you who you are. I'll tell you who you are. You're a modern day Murder Teresa.
I would love to go to, so Brooklyn Charm is like notoriously known to do this. And I think theirs are I think it's more expensive, A. And B, I think it's a lot more curated. So.
And what about the tariffs?
Like our DUI girlies, I mean,
oh my God. DUI girlies, stand up. Where the license at?
I mean,
that was crazy.
DIY. What's it?
DIY.
DIY.
They're close.
My DUI girlies. My DIY girlies.
Oh
I think
God.
if you have the vision, like a girl who can flip a couch, a girl who can reupholster an ottoman,
an angry woman
could have turned that Caribbean bees into her bitch.
Yeah.
I don't have the vision. And that's truly what it came down to. So This is a lot about the same thing. I'm done.
What song's been stuck in your head all week? Welcome to Camp Songs.
Welcome back to Camp Songs. What song's been stuck in your head all week? You're never telling us what song has been stuck in your head all week. And what's up with that, campers? What song is been stuck in Sandwich's head all week?
He doesn't want to talk about it.
He's actually, he held up a sign behind the camp. What does it say? I can't read it. It's bad handwriting.
It says, I have a secret playlist that some of the campers know about.
Well, why don't we know about it?
What is that? He said,
now the campers in the back row are giggling.
He said, check the episode description.
Okay, thank you, Sandwich. We're going to say ours. Okay, Jonathan, what song has been stuck in your head all week?
Well, baby, it hasn't been stuck in my head all week. It's been stuck in my head all day because I heard it today in the waiting room while I was waiting for a doctor to take a look at my scalp. I don't know if you heard it because you were pooing. What I'm saying is I don't know if they have speakers in the bathroom.
Okay, that was just mean. That was a dig, and I don't understand why you did that, but go.
I brought my shovel.
Okay, so say your piece, bitch.
My camp song is Heaven Knows by Donna Summer featuring these other guys. Oh, featuring Brooklyn Dreams.
Can I get a couple pros?
Yes, you can. Heaven knows not the way it should be, and heaven knows it's not the way it could be. Don't you know? You know the song?
No, I like it though.
What?
Maybe I do. Maybe you're just singing it so poorly that I can't get it. Oh, I'm sorry. I couldn't hear it over the shit splashing against the water.
That was crazy. That was crazy. What? What?
I really thought I aimed with that one, and then you just cut me by the ankles. Oh, I'm embarrassed.
Oh, have you been digging into my pain meds? Oh my God.
Heaven knows.
Okay, well, I'm sure.
Come on, give me some Donna Summer and get it off me.
Campers know. This song, my God, what a great song. It's a duet with Joe Bean. Esposito.
When you had your head wrap on, you were giving Joe Bean.
I am Joe Bean. So he is the lead singer of Brooklyn Dreams. There are two versions of this song, in case you are wondering. There's one of Donna as the lead and Joe as the backup, and the other one is Joe as the lead and Donna as the backup. Which one did better? Donna's. But they were tight. They did a lot of work together. And Donna actually ended up marrying one of the members of the band. And it was around this time when they made this song, when she met him. It wasn't the singer. It was another guy. What was his name? Bruce something. It was, they were together from 1980 until she passed away in 2012. Rest in peace to the disco queen.
I love Donna Summer. I might know this song because I do love Donna Summer.
You would know it. I'm just singing it piss poorly. And her song, let me add two. I'm just going to add two. I'm feeling crazy because I feel like it would be remiss if I didn't mention I Feel Love. Iconic song. Oh my God, when we saw Beyonce and she played that, nuts. I shat my pants. It splashed in the water.
Too soon.
Okay, so wait, what was I gonna say? So about her. Okay, first off, the song I Feel Love, the second song that I'm adding to this, Too Good Not to Talk About. It became the first mainstream hit to ever use entirely synthesized backtracking, and it's considered the blueprint for electronic dance music. Without it, there would be no techno house, no EDM, and no music that we know of today.
Wow.
Right. And
that's
that is
why
Beyonce was using it when she made her album.
Okay.
That's
so cool.
Donna Summer herself, she was the first Black female artist to be to have a video on MTV. She recorded 32 chart singles on the charts. Don't know why I wrote that twice. Just so nice, had to say it twice. With 14 top 10s and 4 number 1s. She was also a painter. I didn't know that.
Amazing.
Yeah, and she's an author. She wrote herself a memoir. There's also a documentary if you want to learn more about her life. It's called Love to Love You, Donna Summer. Yeah, so that's my song. I was just loving on Donna Summer this morning.
I think you should keep it throughout the day.
Yeah, she went through a lot in life. She became a born-again Christian. There was this like slanderous article that came out about her that wasn't true, but it basically said she was saying homophobic themes like it's Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve, but she never said it. And she had to clap back and be like, I literally never said this. I work with gay people. It was after she became a born again Christian. And she's like, I work with gay people. I love gay people. I started out in theater. I still to this day, most of my fans in the 1980s are gay people. I never said this. Mm-hmm. But at that time, it tainted her for sure, which didn't add to like,
well, we don't believe it.
Mentality.
We don't believe the narrative.
We do not believe that narrative.
This camp loves D-Sum.
D-Sum. Let me get me some. Okay. And at the end of this, I just wrote Absolute Icon. And that's my song of the week. What are you jamming out to in that head of yours?
I am jamming out to a song called All I Ever Asked by Rachel Chinoriri.
Oh, yeah.
It was all I ever asked of you. I should have put the lyrics down because it's like a newer song to me. So it's not a newer song. It actually came out in 2022.
Cameras, you know it. Come on.
It's really popular on TikTok right now, and she's had some viral moments. And I was like, let me dive into Rachel's story and learn a little bit more about her. And I think she is just, oh my God. I think she's a beautiful woman. I think she's humble and so talented and speaks so eloquently. I love her so much. So her parents moved to England from Zimbabwe shortly before she was born in 1998. So she's got an English accent, but she grew up really traditional, in touch with her African roots. Her parents did not let her listen to secular music at all, youngest of 5, but she's still kind of carved her way into the music industry. And she kind of popped off when she started opening up for Sabrina Carpenter's tour, the Short and Sweet tour. And she's had this kind of slow climb. She's had a lot of success in the UK, and now she's kind of breaking into the American audience through TikTok. TikTok is such a great vessel for up and coming musicians to get their music out there, because this is how now she's on my playlist. But there's these videos I keep seeing of her being so emotional at her shows, literally crying, listening to an entire room of people sing her music. And it's I love seeing people's moment when they're like, oh my God, I made it. Real I'm doing what I always wanted to do. Someone you can see her and see her purpose is so clear. And her music is indie soft pop. This song is so sad, but disguised as something so kind of springy and fun, which you guys know me. I've never steered you wrong when it comes to sad music. It's my favorite genre. And she is just the perfect little boop. I love her so much. The video is gorgeous. It's very 2012, Tumblr LA. And she just has a really beautiful energy and aura about her. And I wish her nothing but success. And this is the first of many songs that I'm sure I will become obsessed with. Rachel Chinoriri, you are incredible, girl. Thank you so much. What a great episode.
What a great episode.
I laughed, I learned, and I loved. And what more can you get out of this show?
give us 5 stars anywhere you can give us a 5-star rating and review. We would greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, and if you're watching on YouTube and you're not subscribed, I'm taking it as a personal attack now because 55% of the people who watch our YouTube videos are not subscribed.
Yeah, we can see the analytics and I'm just confused. I think we just pop up on people's main pages, but it's like if you don't subscribe, like it hurts our feelings and our chances of growing this camp. And Sandwich, he needs some time off.
He does. Oh my God.
And by you subscribing...
Stand up, Sandwich, now. He was leaning.
New listeners are going to be like, why are they so mean to that man? He's just like, he's going through it, okay?
Yeah, because of you.
Be kind, rewind.
We love you so much. I hope you have the best day wherever you are. And we'll see you next week. We'll see you the week after. We'll see you forever. And with that being said, lights out, campers.